Guys, what is up? Dutch Texan here. Welcome to another car review, and this time it's a 2012 Porsche 911 Carrera S. Let's try these brakes out here. That's very, very nice, but that's to be expected. This is a 6-pot in the front, 4-pot in the back, and they're pretty massive for a car this size. The car weighs under 3,200 pounds, so that's more than adequate to stop this car from whatever speeds you're doing. Now we are in the drive mode now, so let's see what it does from a dig. God, this transmission is good. And if you must know, the Porsche PDK stands for Porsche Doppelkupplungsgetriebe, which is pretty much Porsche dual clutch transmission. And I probably butchered that, but it's okay, you know what I meant. And that noise, I just love that. I miss this so much. Hearing that sound of that flat 6 coming from the back is just absolutely glorious. It's one of the best things ever. Now this 911 is powered by a 3.8 liter flat 6 engine that makes 400 horsepower at 7,400 RPM and 325 torque at 5,600 RPM. And at the famed 60 miles an hour, we are at, drumroll please, slightly over 1,500 RPM, which is not bad at all. And I'm in the sports mode, and it just wants to keep the revs high. Shift over to 7 and it goes to 6 automatically. It's freaking hilarious. Now in 2012, this is the new chassis code, the 991, and there's a couple of differences with the previous one. It is again turned out to be a bigger car. The main difference though, because a lot of people say it's just more the same. I'm looking at you, Jeremy Clarkson. So the main difference is the wheelbase. Now it is longer than it has ever been. And one of the reasons why is the old Porsches always had kind of that widowmaker status where it would stay flat a whole long time in a corner because of all the weight in that rear axle, but when it went wrong, it would go wrong in a hurry. Now, effectively, the rear engine is no longer as much a rear engine, still very much in the back, but more of the weight is held by the rear axle, so it becomes a more stable platform. Now the purists, of course, are not going to like it as much, and also if you put this car next to an older generation, let's say the last of the air-cooled, the 993s, it is noticeably larger, but it is fine. One of the things that changes is the way people drive, the way that people want to have safety, and the way that people want to be faster every single time. And Porsche, as far as I know, every single version has been faster than the previous one, so you gotta make changes while still retaining that old, cool look. Yeah, even the downshifts are absolutely great in this car. Oh man, you gotta love this transmission. There is nothing wrong with the PDK at all. Now, one thing that I do have to say though is the way that you operate this transmission. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Let me put it back in drive to quiet things down, because you have to push on this little doohickey, the upshift, and then pull to downshift. All the cars that I've driven was upshift over here on the right, downshift on the left. It's probably just one of those Porsche things, just like having the ignition key on the left-hand side instead of the right. I've only driven one car that did that too, and that was, interestingly enough, a Peugeot. My God, this car just turning is phenomenal. One of the things that people always bring up in cars like these is money. How much do they cost? Now I'm happy to report that even right now in 2017, you can still get a 911 for under 100 grand. This particular one was below 100 grand, if not for the PDK transmission, which was a $4,000 option, which brought it over 100 grand. But still, it is tremendous value, because if you go to Audi, you're spending more. If you go to Ferrari, you're spending way more. If you go to Lamborghini, well, it's the same thing, even though it's kind of Audi now. you're still spending a ton more money. And to be honest, Porsche is for everyone. You can get in a 911 base Carrera, or you can go all the way to the RS cars, which are absolutely bonkers. Now when we talk about the exterior styling, and you either love it or you hate it, for me it is a definite love story. I am completely in love ever since I came into contact with them, and it was early on. In Holland they actually had Porsches in the police, and they also have them in Germany. And when you talk about the interior styling, it's the same way. It's just super functional. The one thing that I love that they've never changed, and they should never change, is the interior clocks. You got that tach right there. You even have the speed in digital form, and if you want to have that analog, which I personally prefer, you can just look to the left and you see that beautiful analog clock. So there is something for everyone, and I love that about Porsche. Another thing that I love about these clocks is that the one at the right of the RPM actually shows a bunch of information if you wish, also your navigation even, so you don't have to take your eyes off the road much. You don't have to stare at the side to look at your screen over there. It's just right in front of you. Now these seats are also very, very nice. They hold you in place like they should. But something else that obviously comes up is storage space. Do you have it? Well, interior wise, you don't see the cup holders, but they are very much there, and they kind of look awesome. The other thing that you have in the side doors is this little cubby hole that opens up, and the trunk, or what is it, the Ford trunk, it's obviously very, very small compared to a conventional car, but it does still swallow some decent amount of stuff. Love that kickdown. It just puts you in your seat. Another thing that I love about this transmission is also that it keeps the revs high after a stint like that, because it's thinking, hey, he's sporting, so I gotta stay on the ball. And then after a little while, it calms back down. Great stuff. But this particular one does not have the sports chrono package, so it doesn't have launch control, but it's still plenty fast. Performance in these cars, 0 to 60, 4-second range, quarter mile, around 12 seconds, and a top speed of over 180 miles an hour. So you're not in any much trouble there either. That is stellar numbers for a car like this. And these brakes are again very, very good. Porsche has their stuff together. The Volkswagen got on it, so I'm like, okay, let's give it just a little bit of a show there. And that's where this car shines. It sounds absolutely glorious, and I just love the way this car pulls. And it's also still naturally aspirated. The newer ones all have turbochargers because they want to hit that MPG figure. And I just love how composed it is. It doesn't matter what you do, straight line hardcore acceleration or just taking off, it is just a joy to drive. Steering is also super, super direct. A lot of people are complaining about that it has no longer that hydraulic feel. It has a great weight to it. It's not over assisted at all. Even when I was going slow in a parking lot, it still had a nice weight to it. It doesn't overcompensate, and I love that. The conclusion on that car, 100% yes. You get a little bit more power than the base Carrera, and it's slightly slotted under the more higher performance ones. It's just a great bang for the buck, and I love the styling. You hate it, you love it. For me, it is a definite 100% love, as previously mentioned, and we gotta go ahead and find out one thing, of course. Braden, thank you so much for letting me drive this awesome 911. It has been an absolute blast. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and you know that I did. And I'll see you on the flip side. Oh, nice.
Oh. I don't see those every day.
Nope. Wow. Nice.
M4.
Does it have AC in the seats?
Yes.
Ah, why didn't I know that earlier?
I forgot about it too.
Dude, these seats are awesome. Just for the seats, you should buy one of these.
Yeah, for
This is
real.
great. Ah, man. God, I just love that noise. Just hear that engine behind you purring. Instead of having it in the front, you know, no problems with the nice sounding front engine car, but it's just,
It's a lot better.
yeah. Oh man, these seats, man. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna stay in this car forever. Can't get over the fact how nice this feels. Hey, look at that, an old Subaru. I can't remember what they're called, but very, very rare also.